Hello, Jim Robinson here, and we're going to take a look at some weekly charts. This is the S&P December weekly with the 10-10 bands and the weekly MACD. Now this is, it's a very bullish chart right now. Um, all the bars above the bands means that the trend is up and it's a sign of strength. Whenever the bands are pointing up and the bars are above the bands, then the lower band becomes support area for any counter trend correction, which played out perfectly on this pullback here. The lower band stopped it, and then now we're back above the bands, and again that's the sign that the buyers have control of this market, and the angle of the bands is bullish, and the MACD is on a buy signal. So basically, when the trend's up, you don't fight it, you just go with it. A lot of people are saying rally in bear market or whatever. Sometimes you just got to go by what the chart's saying and forget all that. Maybe it is a rally in a bear market, but maybe it's a big start to a new bull market. That's more what it looks like, really. So bullish the S&P. We'll look at bonds here. And again, if the chart changes, if the S&P changes, but these weekly charts will really go a long ways towards helping you stay on the right side of the markets. They're not always going to keep you on the right side like at tops and bottoms. It'll take the weekly charts a little while to turn, but 90% of the time, if you look at the weekly charts, it's going to be a big help in knowing what's going on in the markets. Okay, now on bonds below the bands. We haven't had any bars above the bands, so this is still a downtrend, even though the bands are kind of rolling over here a little bit. What I would look at this like is a counter trend rally and maybe like an ABC, and this was the resistance area. It came down here. This is a resistance area, so I'm looking for again, this is where just looking at charts and experience, and again, there's nothing saying I'm going to be right about it, but I think this is just a rally and a bear trend, and I think this is going to come back down to this area at least. Bonds are. Now, if it were to continue higher and make a move above the bands, we'd have to change our opinion. I'd have to change my opinion. Everybody'd have to change their opinion. I don't know. Anyway, the MACD is on a buy signal weekly, but again, I think in this instance it just reflects a counter trend rally. So this would probably be a good one to just, maybe if you were trading, maybe since the direction isn't super clear, to stay out of, but I would be trading this more looking to sell it. Okay, we'll look at one more and then we'll we looked at cocoa yesterday, so we'll look at coffee today. And I think these markets are really, like I keep saying, if they break out, which it looks like they're going to do, to the upside, there's some big moves ahead here, because they've been basing. And okay, here's December coffee weekly 10-10 bands. The 10-10 bands are a simple moving average of the highs and the lows. It's not of the close or anything like that. When you go with one moving average of the highs and one moving average of the lows, that's what forms the bands. And so then this is the weekly MACD down here. Again, I just think this looks like a cup pattern, and then this action is just a test of the low, then another move higher, the market's gaining strength, another higher low, and everything to me about this chart is bullish with the bands and with the basing action here. If we get above 140, much above 140 here, that's a breakout, and I think this thing's going to run. On the MACD, it pulled back and it put in a sell signal here technically, but again, when it's making a base like that and it pulls back and comes down here and tests the base, most of the time you can just, unless you really think the market's in a big downtrend, but right now I'm thinking coffee is making a base. So when it does make a sell signal like this, you would just kind of ignore that one and just say that's just part of the making the sell signal because of the basing action. And then it made a buy signal here, and then it's put in a little sell signal here again on the counter trend correction. But again, I think coffee's just getting ready to move higher again, and when it takes out some of these highs, it's going to run. So that's it for this one. We're looking to go long coffee in the premium newsletter, and we're looking to go long the S&P, and bonds we'd be looking to go short. So thanks for listening to my video.